enthalpy change or heat change. In this lesson, we are going to learn heat of melting or heat of fusion, heat of vaporization, heat of condensation, and heat of solidification. So, let's get started. Firstly, heat of melting or heat of fusion. This is applicable for solid substance, solid H2O. Here, 1 mole solid H2O has been taken. 1 mole. This is actually 18 gram. Gram molecular mass of H2O is 18 gram. When 18 gram of solid H2O is converted to liquid H2O, which is actually water, then in that case solid H2O, which is normally known as ice, it receives some amount of heat. Here this is 6 kilojoule. Actually this heat is known as heat of melting or heat of fusion. This heat is for 18 gram of ice. When 1 mole solid substance is converted to 1 mole liquid, then the amount of heat required is called heat of melting or heat of fusion, which is denoted by delta H. Delta H M, melting or fusion, which is plus 6 kilojoule per mole. Why plus? This process is a kind of endothermic process. This reaction receives energy. That is why this positive sign is used, and this is applicable for 1 mole substance. For this reason, per mole. So, heat of melting or heat of fusion for H2O is plus 6 kilojoule per mole. Then, what is heat of vaporization? Heat of vaporization is applicable for liquid substance. Suppose liquid H2O, which is water. Here 1 mole is taken. 1 mole means 18 gram of water. When this 1 mole water is converted to 1 mole vapor, then it receives some amount of heat. Here this heat is 44 kilojoule. This 44 kilojoule heat, which is for 18 gram of water. This amount of heat is known as heat of vaporization. Heat of vaporization is denoted by delta H vapor plus 44 kilojoule per mole. This process receives 44 kilojoule heat. For this reason, this is plus, which is a kind of endothermic reaction, and this heat is required for 1 mole substance. So unit is kilojoule per mole. Then what is heat of condensation? Heat of condensation, this is applicable for vapor. Here 1 mole vapor. For water this is 18 gram. When this 18 gram water vapor is converted to 18 gram liquid, then it releases some amount of heat, which is here 44 kilojoule. This 44 kilojoule which is released from this process, this is called heat of condensation. It is denoted by delta H condensation. This is minus 44 kilojoule per mole. In this case, in case of vaporization, the process releases heat. For this reason, minus sign is used. This is a kind of exothermic reaction. The amount of heat released when 1 mole of vapor is converted to 1 mole liquid, that heat is known as heat of condensation. Unit is kilojoule per mole. Now, heat of solidification. Here, liquid water has been taken. Heat of solidification is applicable for liquid substance when 1 mole liquid is converted to 1 mole solid, then it releases some amount of heat, which is actually here 6 kilojoule. This heat is known as heat of solidification. This is 6 kilojoule heat. So the amount of heat released when 1 mole liquid substance is converted to 1 mole solid substance, that heat is known as heat of solidification. This is denoted by delta H solidification, which is minus 6 kilojoule per mole. Here, unit is kilojoule per mole because 1 mole substance is converted to 1 mole solid from liquid. For this reason, this is kilojoule per mole. This reaction releases heat. This reaction releases heat. So, this is a kind of exothermic reaction, and for this reason here minus sign is used. Now, let us see these 4 points at a glance. At a glance, 1 mole solid, when this is converted to 1 mole liquid, then it receives some amount of heat, which is 6 kilojoule. This is a heat of melting or heat of fusion when 1 mole liquid is converted to 1 mole vapor. Then it receives some amount of heat, which is 44 kilojoule. This amount of heat is known as heat of vaporization. On the contrary, when 1 mole vapor is converted to 1 mole liquid, then it releases same amount of heat, minus 44 kilojoule. Here, this 44 kilojoule is known as heat of condensation, and when this liquid is converted to solid, then it releases 6 kilojoule heat. Here, this 6 kilojoule heat is called heat of solidification. So, heat of melting or heat of fusion, heat of vaporization, this is heat of condensation, and this is heat of solidification. Enthalpy change or heat change. Thank you for watching.